Save $28 or more.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some Farming Simulator 25 here on Elm Creek and our Rags to Riches challenge. Now in the last episode we did buy a farm. We don't have much on it. We have a house and we have that. We need to make more money, so we're going to look at contracts real quick. We have 2 more fertilizing contracts, so let's get those. And then we are going to accept that one. Alright, and then we are going to go here to this wheat contract for $18,000. We're going to borrow the items for that. We're only going to do that one field. And we're going to get a worker to get working on that. So let's go ahead and get these moving. This harvesting was at field 10. Get in this truck here. I don't know how we're supposed to use this trailer. Let's turn on the help menu here. Lower arm. Sorry. There we go. Let's load container. Never used one of these trucks before, so having to figure this out as we're going. Alright. Let's go ahead and get him to field 10 here, which is way down here. Let's go ahead and just drive him to right here. Oh, where is it? You, sir. Nope. You. There we go. Set destination. We're going to drive him way over here to field, in front of field 43 here. And we're just going to put him right there. We're going to get back in the compound. We're going to drive there ourselves. We'll get the worker started. And then once we get the worker started, we'll start the contract ourselves on the fertilizing. This should give us enough money to buy our I don't have to buy the repair station right now, but I do need the filling station because that's where we're going to be buying our gas and other things from. So fertilizer and gas and stuff like that. So we need $16,000 for that. That's why we're doing this contract here. We may end up doing the oak contract, but we'll have to lease more equipment. So, but anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm having a great day. I hope that y'all are enjoying the stream, enjoying the series that I just started. I am anxious to keep playing it, so that's why we're playing it 2 days in a row. I don't always do that with games, but I have not been able to play this game for 7-8 months now, so I am glad to be back into it. And let's go ahead and get over here to the field where we can start this contract. Our 18-wheeler is following us. Like I said, we're probably going to do the oat field as well, but we may get a few more fertilizing contracts. We'll see. But if we get some more fertilizing contracts, we won't need to do the other one. And then we'll move on to the next month. But we do need money to at least put that down. I do want to get the repair station too, but I mean we don't need repairs right now, so we don't even have that much equipment. We just have two. But we are going to need a plow, we're going to need a seeder, and then we're going to have to start working toward a harvester. And we also need a trailer. So I mean, we got a lot of stuff to get. So we're going to take advantage of every contract we can. But I'm not going to do the 2 small oat fields. If I do lease that equipment, it will just be for that one field. We're not going to do multiple fields with it, because the other ones aren't really worth the money that it you know, by the time I drive the harvester there, it's just not worth it. So we're gonna probably just do the one oat field as well. We may go ahead and do that, get a worker started on that one too, just so we can get it. We need the money. I'd like to be able to next month be able to get maybe a seeder and a plow, so we can actually use a field that we have. I mean, we're gonna have to plant something in it. I think it's got potatoes in it. We can't harvest that right now, so let's go ahead and we'll let the tractor going by, or the truck, whatever. He's fine where he's at right now, so let's go ahead and get this hooked up. Let's unfold the harvester. Alright, and then field 10 is right over here. We're going to go ahead and get him started here. We're just going to let him do his thing. We will empty as needed. So let's go ahead and hold this down. Yep, we want that. That'll work. And you get started there, buddy. Alright, this truck can stay there. Let's go ahead and go back into contracts. And we are going to look at this oat field, which is 25, which is where is 25? Know where we have to deliver it. It's way down here. All right, 25 is up there behind the store. Sorry. All right, let's go ahead and borrow the items on that. And let's get this one over there. Trailer. All right, let's get this tractor headed over there. Alright, let's go ahead and get this guy up to field 25. Set destination. And we're going to put him right up here. All right. We'll let him get on by. And we're going to go this way. drop the trailer in this field, because we won't be using it again. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's go pick it up. Oh, wrong button. I did hit the X button, but I hit the C button at the same time. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. Now, once we have a harvester, we will not be leasing harvesters anymore. But for right now, we need the money, and we can't lease anything else. Harvesters are the only thing we're allowed, or well, I say lease, borrow. We're only allowed to borrow harvesters. We can't borrow any other equipment like plows or cultivators. All that stuff we'll have to buy. All right, let's go ahead and get him started here. Now we can go do our fertilizing contract. Sorry, 68 and 8. All right. 8 is... Where is 8? It's probably going to be in a different... Yep. Oh, 68 and 8 are both up there at the top. So let's go ahead and drive. And like I said, we've got our land. We just need to buy some stuff for it. We do have a house that we can sleep. So, we'll go get these 2 fields fertilized, and then we'll see where we're at on money. I was really hoping to get a couple of these other fields to harvest, but you know, it is what it is. And I'm not going to do the sugar beets and things like that because they take too long. Now, we will when we have our own sugar beet harvester, things like that. But as far as doing contracts for sugar beets, you know, the only thing we're going to do contract wise is harvesting the grain fields. We're not going to be doing all the other stuff. So let's go ahead and just shoot across here. We need to go this way. Alright, so they will probably be full soon, so we may set a worker on the fertilizer here too. Alright, so let's get on up here and then we'll go check. We'll set a worker off on fertilizing that so we can go unload the combines whenever it needs. Alright, yeah, he has a full tank, so let me just get this guy up here, and then we'll go empty. I'm sure that is field number 10 that is full. So alright, so 68 and 8 are over here. These 2 bigger fields. We'll just set a worker off on this. Excuse me, let him do his thing. Alright, here we go. H. Oh, I know why. We need to take it off. Hit OK. And then we can hit H. Alright, perfect. Alright. Let's get in our truck, go empty this harvester. And I think we'll be safe to just leave him right there. Let's go check the other harvester. It's got a while. Alright. ahead and take over for this guy. We're going to assume he went down that side of the field, so we're just going to go this way a little bit. You can kind of see where he's been. And with it being both these fields, it'll be easy to finish here. We may have to go back and get some more of it, but that's all right. If we don't catch it all here, we'll go back and get the rest later. But it looks like we're getting a little bit on it. So that one's done. All right. And we might get some more fertilizing contracts. We might not. So but we got a 30-something thousand payday coming, or around 30,000, 35,000 total between the contracts that we're doing here and the 2 harvesting contracts. So we should be able to get our silo, our purchasing silo, and then also hopefully the plow. Even if we have to get the smaller version of the plow, that'll be fine. We need the plow anyway. We can always upgrade it later. I would like to get a cultivator for contracts, but we need a second tractor for that. So we're kind of only doing what we can do right now. That should be enough to get the rest of it there. Alright, we're done with that. Let's go ahead and accept those contracts. Alright, and let's look over, see if we have, oh, we got a couple more. 72 is way up there, 92 is way down by our farm. We'll do, yeah, we'll go ahead and do them both. So accept and accept. All right, and we'll go do 72 first. All right, we got another harvester that's almost full. We're going to do these ourselves. We're not going to hire a worker for that. We got enough worker going on right now. All right. So we'll go do 72, and then whenever it says somebody's full, we'll get over to them. I mean, we almost have enough to buy the plow now. So we technically could buy the, I think we can almost buy the plow, which will give us more to do. But we're going to refresh contracts first and see if any more fertilizings come up. I think we can go this way. I hope we can. I've never really gone this way for that. All right. Both of them are almost full now, so let's see if we can get up here to 72 this way. I think this road goes through. If not, we'll find us a road that goes through. But I think this one goes all the way through. Let's look. Yeah, it pretty much goes all the way through. So let's just go ahead and put that back down to smaller. We'll knock 72 out and then we'll go check on our harvesters. They're both full probably by the time we get there and get this one done. 72 is a very small field. It's only going to take one pass. Yeah, they're both full. So we will go take care of that here shortly. All right, now 72 is going to be up this way. We're going to try to climb the hill here. No problem. We'll get 72 knocked out real quick, and then we'll go empty our combines out. And then we'll drive down to 92. This is 72 is a very small field. So we just need to kind of center here and go boom. Well, we missed something, probably here on the corner. Yep. All right. Let's go empty both our combines. We're going to have to make 2 trips with this one. Where are we going? Alright, let's look here. We're on field number 10. We need to go to Red Marble Bowling Restaurant, which is way up there. Okay. Alright, we're going to have to send him up there to do that. Actually, we'll go deliver it. No, we're going to send him because we need to go empty the other one too. So, alright, let's get into the road. Combine. Not empty. We're going to put him on the road and send him up there so he can unload. Go ahead and get him on the road here, alright? And we're gonna set you to up here. Where's the place? Right up here. Alright, we're gonna set you to right there, going that way. Alright. Let's get in the other one here, get him empty. Apparently he can't get through. Well, we'll have to drive him. Alright, should be good right here to leave this truck. The tractor. Alright. So we'll drive this one up there. Nothing we can do about that. We gotta go empty. This truck is not slow. Alright, let's get this guy emptied. Back down there. We're going to have to make multiple trips. So we'll go with, I mean, we've got to empty him again anyway, so let's go empty him. While we're doing that, let's get our tractor up here. And let's see if we can get it. Come on, let me click on my tractor. Alright, set destination. We're going to set him all the way down here to the bottom on this road right here. See if he can do that. We'll go unload this guy again. have a whole lot left to harvest. We might get it all in one, but I don't think so. We only delivered 39%, so it's probably going to take at least 2 more loads. Yeah, it's going to take 2 more loads. So we'll just have to go when he gets... Alright, so we are, it's a very small trailer. Compared to what I would use for this field anyway. It takes multiple trips. I mean, this harvester does hold 20,000 though, so. Let's go move out of the way. Let's go check on that. Another one that is not quite full, but we're going to go ahead and empty him. Okay, he's not moving. Alright, get that back up, please. I guess the train stopped him probably. But he got close, so need to unfold it now. Alright, so 92 is this one right here. Alright. This one will take 2 seconds. Maybe 5. But that will be it. Alright, let's go ahead and collect those contracts. Alright, and let's see if there's anything else. Yes, field 30, which is do we have enough fertilizer? We'll find out. Alright, field 30. Oh, it's right down the road, so yeah, it's a big field. Yeah, we're probably not going to have enough fertilizer, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a shot. We have enough to buy more fertilizer if we need it, so. This is one of the bigger fields, so let's see if we can, let's just start here. We're going to go try to gain this whole side here. That should get us. Alright, he's full again, but we're going to finish this contract first, because we're going to have to deliver anyway. Alright, we're almost done with this one. Hopefully we won't have to find where we missed anything. Looks like we're going to finish it. Alright, we missed something somewhere. Let's see. Go into the map. Where did we miss? Yep, that'll do it. Just a little bit more. There it is. Alright. Let's go ahead and get him emptied up and deliver. Okay, so we got almost done with these contracts, and then we'll be able to build our silo where we can refill our fertilizer and stuff, gasoline, diesel, whatever you want. We'll be able to do that with the silo. Yep, he's full. They're probably both full, but that's alright. I mean, we gotta deliver, so let's do that. Then we're gonna need to get a seeder We'll plow a seeder and a trailer and a harvester before we can move on and actually start buying more property. Our first field, like I said, we're going to have to plow it under. We're probably going to plant something like oats in it just to get a quick turnaround. We're also going to get us a sell point, which we can buy right away, because that is alright. Let's go ahead and get that. That's going to put us at 96%. Get him back down, unload again, and then we'll go to the other combine and get that one unloaded. And then we'll check contracts again, see if we have any fertilizing contracts after we build our replenishment silo. It'll be quicker to go this way. Actually, maybe food. Yes. Nice. Let's go ahead and we'll jump in this combine. Let's pipe out. If we're going to get all of this in this trailer or not, I'm hoping so. But if we can't, we'll just have to make 2 deliveries. will be close. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get it all, but we're going to try it. We'll top it off anyway. We'll see how many he gets here. Alright, let's go ahead and go to the other. Alright, we can go deliver this one and turn it in. Alright, so let's go deliver this one, and then we'll have to see if we can get the rest of it in the next one. But we're done with this contract. We will check and make sure there's not another big wheat contract. Because, I mean, if we can make extra money, we will. Hello. Reanimation. How are you doing? Yes, it is a great game. Love it. We're, like I said, all we can do is contracts right now. We don't have any implements other than a tractor and a fertilizer spreader that we own. We do own some property with a house on it. That's all it's got. We're going to be putting down a refilling station that where we can replenish our stuff like diesel, fertilizer, and all that. I'm using the one that does all of it. So, let's turn right here. Head on up and finish this delivery. And we can only lease harvesters to do contracts. We can't lease any other equipment or borrow. So I can't like borrow a stone picker or a plow. I have to actually own other implements to be able to do the contracts. But early game, if all I could do was fertilize and buy a plow, it would take me months and months to get stuff going. So I'm trying to let's see, where do I need to go? It's right over here. We're just trying to make as much money as we can in this first month so we can actually get us some equipment. We need a harvester, we need a seeder, we need a plow, we need a trailer, and that will allow us to at least plant the one field we own, which is field 60 down in the bottom of the map. We'll be heading there soon. So let's go ahead and empty that. Alright, this guy's done. Let's see if we can get all these oats in that trailer. Hopefully we can. But if not, we did make a little bit of extra off that wheat, so $3,000. But if we can't get all the wheat in here, we're going to have to make 2 trips with this guy. Or oats, I mean. But let's hope it all gets in there. It did not. Okay. Alright, we'll have to go deliver this and come back and get the rest. But I hope you're doing well, Reanimation. It's good to see you here. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, that like button. I stream every day, at least once. On Sundays, sometimes it's only once, but sometimes it's twice. But every other day I'm streaming at least twice. I'll be doing Farming Simulator at least 3 or 4 times a week. Still trying to work out my new schedule. I've met obligations on games that were given to me by Keymailer, so I'm just working on other games. I play Farming Simulator, American Truck Simulator. I play Yard Sale Simulator, Stardew Valley, Ranch and Farm Store Simulator, 7 Days to Die. I play multiplayer, and then Forever Skies. I play multiplayer. I play Better Mart multiplayer. I also play Medieval Dynasty multiplayer and Supermarket Sim multiplayer on Saturdays. Wednesday and Friday I play 7 Days and Forever Skies, and on Tuesday, Tuesday and Thursday I play Better Mart with a friend. But I haven't been able to play Farming Simulators for about 7 months because my game sound kept cutting off, and they finally put out an update that fixed whatever the problem was. I would play for about 30 minutes and my game sound would just stop. So I am excited to be back in Farming Sim. So it's probably going to be a lot of streams of it because I haven't been able to play it for so long. And this is my favorite map from 22, Elm Creek. So that's why I'm playing on it. And my Rags to Riches challenge, I started with a tractor and a fertilizer spreader and 4 bags of fertilizer. Everything else we have to purchase. And like I said, the only thing we can borrow is harvesters until I can buy a harvester, and then we can't borrow anything to do jobs. So we won't be able to do contracts unless we own the implements to do them. So after we get a harvester, once we buy a harvester. Alright, well, now that contract is done, and there was only a little bit of wheat or oats left in there, so I think we're just going to accept it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these contracts completed. And then let's check again. We don't have any more fertilizing contracts, so let's go ahead and get to our tractor, which is over here on 30. Alright, let's take it back to the farm. We're going to put down our refilling station, which we couldn't even do another fertilizing contract until we do that anyway. But I think we're going to go ahead and move on to the next month after we do this, and we're going to go ahead. Actually, you know what? We'll probably go ahead and buy our plow, and we'll do the 2 plowing contracts that are on here. But first, I want to put down the refueling station, and then we'll see about buying the plow and maybe a water trailer if we can. And a water filling station, so we can maybe get a couple of greenhouses and start producing some things to sell. Now the only things I will produce are tomatoes, lettuce, and strawberries, because there aren't any productions that I can use those items in right now. The other stuff I won't turn in until I have turn it on until a production building that can actually use the stuff. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to put our refueling station. Let's go ahead and go into that. Go into construction here. And it's under containers. And it's going to be this one that's 16,500. And I want to put it, let's flip around here. Alright, I want to put it right, oh man, this land restriction thing is driving me nuts. Let's see if we can, okay, so right here, as far back as it'll let us. Perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and fill up with fertilizer, because we're almost empty. And we'll go ahead and fill up with diesel too. So let's go R. Let's fill that. Back the tractor up and hit R. Fill it with diesel. Alright, now let's go into the P menu again. Let's go up here. Now I want to, let's see, where's the water trailer? Is it miscellaneous? No, it's contained. Here it is. This is the one. This is the water tanker I want to buy. So we're going to buy it first. We're going to give it the XL capacity. Take the tag off. Alright, and that is going to give us, where it holds 200,000 liters, so I don't have to fill it every 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and buy that. And then we're going to go into plows, which is, let's see, it's been a minute, so I don't remember where everything is. It's up further. Plows. All right, we got 27,000. This is the one I want. How much is it for the 12 meter? 21,000. We'll do it. Yep. We're going to go ahead and get the 12 meter plow. All right. Now we're broke again, but we can do different contracts now. All right, let's go ahead and park our fertilizer spreader back this way for now. And I think we have enough to buy the smaller of the greenhouses, so let's see if we can do that. We'll only buy one for now. We're going to eventually get to, I don't even know how much they are. So let's go to productions, greenhouses. Actually, I want my selling point first. No point in having that. Sell everything. We are going to put that, we're going to put it right here. Didn't place it right. Alright. Let's put it back down. I want to put it, yeah, about right here in the middle. Somewhere. That'll work. Alright, and then we're going to check greenhouses. And let's find the open air is the one I'm looking for. Alright, open air is 8,000. So we can't even buy it yet, but we will be able to eventually. What is this? Raspberry garden? Meh. Alright, so yeah, we're going to wait until we have to be able to buy that. Let's go ahead and go to the store and grab our plow and our water trailer. Actually, let's, before we go any further, before I forget, we need to get our water container, which is this the one? Free water tank. Yep. Alright, we're going to put it over here next to our refill silo, so I don't want to forget to do that. Alright, let's head to the store. We'll grab our plow and water tanker and bring it back. We're going to look at the contracts, but we'll see what they are on plowing after we get there, but we're going to be moving on here pretty soon. Want to get the implements back so I can go ahead and be filling the water trailer, because it takes a while. Let's go ahead and So we need to make up to 8,000 to get our greenhouse. So we'll probably do the plowing contracts that are here. And if there's any more fertilizing contracts, we may grab those as well. And then we're going to move on. Because I do want to get our field plowed, because it has a crop that I'm not going to lease a $30,000 lease. I can't lease equipment anyway, but I wouldn't lease it even if I could to harvest that little bitty field. So we're just going to get our plow, and we'll plow that field over and go ahead and get it fertilized. After we get our water container back and we do those plowing contracts, we're going to plow our field before we move on. So we'll fertilize, plow, fertilize again, and then we're going to be working toward getting us a seeder of some sort. But we can go ahead and check real quick if anything else. Yeah, nothing I want. Nothing I want. Okay. But we'll check that first thing whenever we get started every month. But we're going to go ahead and get this done, get these things down. Hopefully be able to make a little bit more money and get us a greenhouse in, so we can actually start making money off our own farm. Of course, it'll be slow because it's going to be a small greenhouse, but we'll just have to do it as we can. We're going to probably build 2 to start with once we get enough money to build 2. All right, let's get our plow on the front here. Oh, we got to spin around. Forget it. Is that way. Well, we'll take our water container back and get it filled up with water. Let's go ahead and fold that up. And we'll get our water container picked up. Now, I know this is unrealistic with the 200-gallon water tank, but it's the one I like to use because I don't have to fill it as often when I'm filling up greenhouses and stuff. So let's get this back. Then we'll check those plowing contracts and see if we can make enough money to get our greenhouse in with that. If we can. If we can't, we'll just move on if they're not going to be enough money. But we'll see. Once we get there, we'll go drop the container off and get it filled. We'll start filling it, and then we'll flip our plow around and go do those plowing contracts, and maybe another fertilizing contract if it pops up. But we are going to be moving on to September here shortly, and we aren't playing seasons because it's going to be a long time getting even just a second piece of property. So because we have to be able to use the field we have to get a harvester, we have to get a seeder, and a trailer. So to put our harvest in, so we're going to have to wait a little while on that. That's going to be our next, after the greenhouses, the 2 greenhouses, our next project is going to be to get us a harvester, well, a seeder, then a harvester, and a trailer, and the header, of course, for the harvester. But we're going to be using a modded harvester that holds the 200,000 liters that costs like way less than all the big harvesters, just because it just makes more sense to buy that one. Even though it's a smaller header, we are going to be a long way from getting a big harvester. I don't like buying the small in-game harvester because they just are so slow. And with that one, it has a 200,000 capacity tank on it, so you only have to empty it once. And the trailer we'll be buying will hold the 200,000. So that's where we're going to go. But like I said, we will eventually get a cultivator. I won't use a cultivator on my own crops. I just plow. but we will get a cultivator to do contracts. But it's going to be a while before we do that because I'm not going to buy the 4 meter. I want at least a 9 meter or 8 meter, something like that, where it doesn't take the workers as long. But we got to get a second tractor before then anyway. So our plans are 2 greenhouses and then a cedar is going to be our next purchase, and then it depends on what comes up for sale. So, and how much money we can make. All right, let's go ahead and fill that up. It should continue to fill. Let's drop our plow, flip around and pick it up the right way. Now we do need to get a repair station eventually, but we don't need it just yet. All right, let's check contracts. All right, so there is a fertilizing contract we're going to accept. And then, let's see, plowing, there are 2. That's going to give us just enough, basically, and have a little bit of money left over for all right, we can put our fertilizer spreader on the front and do it that way. So we'll go do the fertilizing at 87 first, and then we'll go do our plowing. All right, so let's see where 87 is, unless one of the plowing contracts is closer. All right, let's see. 87 is down here. 3 is here. Where's the other one? Oh, is it 2 and 3? Oh, so those are perfect. They're right beside each other. All right, that's going to make it easy. Let's go do the fertilizing contract first. And this will give us the money we need to get our first greenhouse in, and we can go ahead and put some water in it and get that rolling before we move on to September. All right, so 87 is, yeah, that way. Okay. And then 2 and 3 are up by the main road. And that, like I said, will give us a little bit more than what we need for the greenhouse and give us some operating money for monthly costs and things like that. So, and then we'll move on to September and see what we can do. You know, like I said, if there is a big green bean field or something like that, we will borrow a harvester to do it. But we're only going to do one because it's going to take forever to do those. I don't even know what's on them. I haven't looked at the fields. We'll just go with whatever contracts we get. But these are the last 3 that we're going to do for this month. Because it gives us what we want, which is getting our greenhouse in. All right, so 87 is this field right here. Should be able to 2 past this one, so let's go ahead and get turned in here. Back up just a hair, and let's cut it on. Alright, let's cut that off. And let's see. Where's the best way for us to get to field 2 and 3? Yeah, we'll just go up this road right here. Yep, that'll be the best one. Yep, the next road, okay. Alright, let's go ahead and switch our implements here. And there goes our wage payment. Alright, so 2 and 3 are right up here. They're very small fields, they shouldn't take very long. So let's cut through here. Here is field 3. And we're going to drop our fertilizer spreader actually, so we can use the, let's go here. So we can use the assist on here to make this faster. Let's go ahead and get lined up here. Let's get our steering assist on. Alright, so let's unfold. Let's drop it down. We're gonna do it like this. We're just gonna go ahead and plow both of these at the same time. Guess we really don't need the steering assist for these fields because they're not very big. Alright, let's back up. All right. Alright, let's go ahead and get these finished up, and then we can move on. We'll go ahead and finish up this little strip. We gotta go back that way anyway to get our spreader. Alright. Fold that up. Make it easier for transport. And let's head back. We'll collect our contracts, put down our greenhouse, fill it up. So let's go ahead and grab this and head home. So a pretty productive month for the first month. We were able to get us some property. We were able to get us some equipment, you know, two extra pieces of equipment. We have our refilling station. We have a water station. Now we have our plow, we have our water trailer, and we will have enough money to put down a greenhouse, and we'll go ahead and get that started. Like I said, we're going to start with just lettuce, strawberries, and tomatoes. We're not going to do any of the other crops. This one does a lot, but we won't start those crops until we can get a production building down that can use them. And once we do that, we will cut strawberries off until we can use strawberries. But I may just leave strawberries off. We may just do tomatoes and lettuce to start with. Just because we can't really use the strawberries. The tomatoes and lettuce, we don't have a production, or I haven't found a production that works with those yet. So maybe we will. I'll look through some more of the production mods and stuff, but I haven't found anything to use tomatoes and lettuce. But the rest of the you know what, for now, I think we will cut it all on. Because I am going to be building a production, and as soon as we get the harvester, I'm going to be building a production. We'll put it all on and we'll just have it distributing. Except for, alright, let's go ahead and park this here up against the fence. Alright, and then we'll back the plow in up against the fence as well. Let's get over. Alright, let's accept our contracts. Alright, that leaves us, it's going to leave us a little over 4,000. We're going to put our two greenhouses right here in this little empty spot. Alright, so let's go ahead and get one. That's all we'll be able to afford right now. Alright, we need greenhouses, and we want the open air. Yep, that's the one I want. Alright, let's see here. Oh, come on. Why is it colliding? Let me hit B. Okay. Alright, that's where our pallets will spawn. So we'll have that right on the edge there. Let's go ahead and put this down. Alright, let's get our water trailer picked up. and let's go ahead and fill this up. Alright, now let's go into our productions here, and we're going to cut all of them on. So enter to activate, and then space to change. We want it distributing, enter, distributing, enter, 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 and then distributing, enter, distributing, enter, distributing. All right, lettuce we're going to leave on storing. This one we're going to put on distributing. Olives will be the same. Parsnips. All right, peas, potatoes, red beets, spinach, spring onions, strawberries, sunflowers, tomatoes we will store, and that is it. So we have everything distributing except for tomatoes and lettuce, so it will spawn pallets out of those. Alright, let's see. It is already full, so we're just gonna park this right over here, and we're gonna skip on to the next month. Alright, and we'll sleep till 7 o'clock. Alright, moving on to September. Alright, let's see what our production has done. So we got a little bit, 146, 575. The only two that really matter at this point are going to be lettuce and tomatoes. So, not enough of them to even worry about. But the rest of them they'll store until we can get a production. Alright, so we're at 4,600. Let's go ahead and look at contracts here. Alright, see, what is this? This is going to be canola and potatoes, which we're not fooling with. The canola we might do. Let's go ahead and refresh. Man, I'd love to have a cultivator. That was a huge field for cultivating. But we don't have an extra tractor. First, let's go into, before we go any further, let's go into the sale and see if there's anything. It's the same stuff. I kind of want that tractor, but it's only 80-something horsepower that we can get it up to, so I don't really want it that bad. So, alright, let's go ahead and get back to contracts. We're going to refresh a couple of times. Wow, lots of harvesting. Alright, what is 59? 59 is red beets. I do not want that. So, yeah, we won't do that. We have one plowing contract we can do, so let's go ahead and do that. And accept contract. I'm not doing the beets. I hate the in-game harvester. Hate it with a passion, and solo player it's almost impossible to use. So, alright, let's go get our plow. And let's go ahead and ahead and grab our fertilizer spreader. We're going to go ahead and do our field. So we'll have to field 60 over here is the only one we own. It has got, I don't remember what crop. It may have sorghum in it. If it has sorghum, we may be able to do something with that. Let's see here. Alright, sorghum. No, yeah, it is, and it's ready to harvest. So we'll hold off on that. But we'll drop the fertilizer spreader back. Well, no, we'll just take it with us. Alright, yeah. Because we may get some fertilizing contracts. Alright, field 47 is close to here. I want to say it's right across the railroad track. It is. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get up here. And we'll do field 47. Like I said, we're just going to carry the fertilizer spreader with us in case we get a fertilizing contract. Now we may do that canola field because it's a decent contract. But we'll probably wait a little bit just to see if can we get through here. I don't know if we can. Oh, no. Let's not do that. Come on. There we go. Alright, cool. We'll just back across the train track there. Probably shouldn't have done it that way. Alright, but 47 is the field we need to do. Let's go ahead and drop our fertilizer spreader off so we can use that. Oh, great. Perfect. Alright, let's go steering assist. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and unfold and lower and let's go. All right. Alright, so we'll get this done. We'll have to go turn our fertilizer spreader back upright. And then we'll see what other contracts we have. Let's go ahead and actually fast forward time a little bit. We'll put it at 5 times just to let it pass through the day so we can see if we get anything else. And then if we get more contracts, we'll slow it back down. Actually, we'll go ahead and do it at 10 times. Just until we can see if more contracts are going to pop up. We'll fast forward through. We're probably going to take that canola contract though. Like I said, we have our sorghum field, but we cannot borrow equipment or lease equipment for ourselves. So we're going to hope we can get a harvester and get that sorghum in, but if we don't, you know, we don't. So we're going to have to get a harvester and a trailer, or at least a harvester, because we can actually sell the sorghum if we can't get a trailer. But we'll just see how much money we have at the end of the month. Now, we won't finish this month in this stream, because we only got another hour and a half or so that we're going to be streaming. But we'll see where it is at the end of the month, and if we can get our harvester before the end of the month, which we might be able to do. I made that much money last time, so we could get the harvester and header in. We'll just have to see. I would like to get a production in as well, and we may go that route if the harvester is not. Nope, the next. Alright, let's go see if we can get this picked up, or if we're going to have to manually do it. Nope. Alright, let's get out. Alright, let's flip it over. It's not exactly what I wanted to do. Let's grab this again. Alright, and then turn it this way, and then set it back. Nope, this way a little bit more, and then set it back down. Okay, maybe it won't fall, maybe we won't knock it over. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and accept our contract. Alright, let's see. Cultivating deadwood. There's a fertilizing. Man, I wish that wasn't red beets. Alright, let's see if there's any more canola. Nope, just the one. Let's actually go ahead and borrow the items for that. We can get a worker on that while we're going to do the fertilizing contract, which is 41, which is way up north. Alright, let's go ahead and accept that. Alright, let's get to here. Let's go ahead and we're going to hope that another contract comes up for this, for canola. All right. Go ahead and get this tractor over to field number 5. Alright, where is field 5? Field 5 is right down here, so let's get him. You, sir. Let's set destination to field number 5. Put him right here. And then we'll let him go by. like I said, we're hoping to get another canola contract, but if we don't, we don't. Nothing we can do about it. When it gets to 8 o'clock, I'm going to slow time down. Let's go ahead and slow time down. We'll see if we have any more contracts pop up after we do these. Field number 5. Now we're just going to leave this in the road. Let's go ahead and pick up the header here. Fold this all the way. And we will get this guy started here on field number 5. Alright, now we've got to get to field 41, which is way up north. I think we can use this highway here. Alright, let's see where 41 is going to be. Alright, we need to take the main thoroughfare up here. Alright, so we'll turn up here, across the main thoroughfare, then we can head up to 41 and we'll fertilize that field. Alright, so we need to take this road right up here, I think. Yep. Alright, so we need to go this way. I ran into stop sign. Okay. What did I run into? Alright, we'll turn here. Alright, I don't know if we can get through this bridge or not. I'm hoping we can. But our plow may be too tall. Oh, it glitched. Perfect. Alright, well, let's get up here to field 41. Let's get started on on fertilization here. Alright. Let's get it going. Alright, almost done with this one. Alright, let's go ahead and accept that contract. See if there's anything else we can do. Nope, there's sowing, but we don't have a seeder yet. What are they? It's carrots and barley. So we could do barley. Let's refresh. There's a plowing contract. So let's see, 88 is way down at the bottom, but we can do that. So let's go ahead and grab it. Check. Okay, he's nowhere near full, so. Alright, let's get down to 88. We'll go ahead and switch our implements here. I need to check on the seeders. So let's do that real quick. Alright, nothing new here. Let's go to seeders. Alright. So this one is 4.6 meters. It's probably the, see, that one's only 4, so yeah, this one's better. I mean, the one I really want is this one here, but it's 200 grand. This one's not bad, actually. This is 55,000 and it plants everything. So I think that's what we're going to go for. It holds a decent amount of seed and fertilizer, so yeah, I think that's the one we're going to go for. 55,000. So that's what we need to get a seeder. Of course, if we can get the harvester before the seeder, that's fine, because we don't have to seed immediately. We just have to seed at some point. If we can get the harvester, we'll be able to harvest our field that we have. But we are, alright, we're on plow. We need more money, so we'll just have to see where we are at the end of the month. Hoping we can buy the harvester and header. If I remember correctly, let's go to harvesters. Alright, our harvester we're going to get is 94,000. With the bigger engine, it's 104,000. 114,000. And then we want the header fast, which is another 20,000. So 140-ish thousand is where we need to be. He's getting close to being full, but he's not there yet. We should be able to get down here and get this field, at least get to the field before he fills up. So we need to get to 140-ish thousand to be able to get the combine and header. And if we can get to that by the end of September, we'll be able to harvest our field that we have, and then we can get it ready to plant. And then we need another 55,000 for the cedar we want to get, which will plant all of the crops, which is why I'm going to get it, because then we can pretty much do any sowing contract as well. Now, if we can't get the harvester by the end of the month, we may buy the cedar so we can do sowing contracts. But again, it's just a matter of, you know, we're at the mercy of contracts right now. We're not going to make too much money off of lettuce and tomatoes very quickly with only one greenhouse. Now, we will be buying another greenhouse. We will probably get that after we do these contracts here. After this contract, actually, we will probably go ahead and do that. All right, now 88 is this one over here. This is field 88, correct? Yep, all right. All right, let's put that down, get it lowered. Yeah, we're not going to be able to use this assist because we have our fertilizer spreader, but plowing these fields aren't that hard. So. Alright, so let's go ahead like that. Let's back up. worker is full, so let's go ahead and finish this row. We'll get him turned around, and then we will go empty the harvester. All right. Quite get in there. Let's get a little closer. We'll see if he can get by us before we leave. Looks like he's 50% done. So if this trailer is not more than 50%, we should be able to get all of it in the trailer. All right, good deal. You can get by. All right, let's finish plowing this field. So he should be able to get all of the canola field in that one harvest. So we won't have to shuttle that but one time. Get this field done. Let's see what else Contracts has for us. Alright, let's real quick. Well, we need to go back to the farm anyway to fill the greenhouse, so let's go down. We're going to go ahead and build us a second greenhouse. And we'll set it up. So there's two things we're going to look at. If we're not close to being able to get the harvester at the end of the month, we're going to try our best to get the seeder and possibly a production so we can actually start making a little bit more money. That's going to be about 85,000 for those, I believe. But now we are going to build a second greenhouse, so that's going to take us down to about 6,000. Well, we actually let's collect our contract here. All right, so that's 18,000. So we'll have 10,000 left. So we have two options. It's harvester and header, or seeder and production. And now the production would be very beneficial to have, because we could just start turning all of our products into other products to sell. So, which right now we're going to have to use the liftable pallets, to be able to sell our pallets. We're going to have to drag them one at a time because we don't have a trailer. We will get an auto-load trailer at some point for pallets. Well, that was loud. But anyway, so we have two options, and that's seeder production or harvester header, just depending on how much money we have at the end. Those are going to be the next four things we do. But I'm hoping to get the harvester header so we can get a little bit of crop out of that. And we'll just leave the crop in the harvester for now. But let's go ahead and let's drop the plow. Let's go ahead and put down our other greenhouse here. Alright. Alright, and we're going to put it be about right there. Now, I think if we want, we can get two more in here. Yeah. Which we probably, instead of building bigger ones, we'll probably just build more smaller ones. Let's get our water and get this other one filled up, and then we'll park this back by the water fill station and get it filled again. Let's spin around here. Now I do want to get into chickens and things like that, and we might be able to get a chicken house up here. I don't know if we will or not. Some of this land is restricted for building, so alright, let's go ahead and fill that up. Then we'll drop the trailer back off at the fill station. Alright, let's go ahead and get this production set up like we did the other one. Alright, so come on. Alright. And then alright, there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and drop this back off over here and get it filled back up. We're going to have to pull it through the other way, I think, which is fine. Might have got it a little bit close, but this is okay. It's not a big deal. We can do it right this way. Is it filling? There we go. All right, we'll drop that off. All right. Let's check our contracts. Let's actually, is he done? He is done, so we can go fill this up and fulfill our contract on it. Alright, let's let him get full. Let's actually go into contracts real quick. Alright, potatoes, spinach. That spinach field is not that big. We could probably do that one. But, man, I wish that was not a red beet field. Alright, sowing we can't do yet. None of that we can do. So let's refresh. All right, 6 refreshes is good. Ooh, what is this? Oh, that's cultivating. Never mind. All right, we will take that. All right, harvesting, it's all the same, right? Yep. We might do the spinach one. Might do it. All right, let's go get this delivered to where it goes. I don't remember which place it was going to. Okay, it's going down here, so perfect. We're going to keep this harvester for a little bit just to see if another canola field pops up. We're not going to complete the contract just yet. Because there are a few canola fields. So we're going to hold off on completing that one until we can see, unless it's a really big canola field, where we would need a bigger harvester. I'm not going to want to do it with that, like that. If that is a canola field, I wouldn't want to harvest that field with that harvester. So. But like I said, we'll find out if it gives us any more. After we do some other ones. Let's go ahead and deliver this. $1,300 off that. Alright, let's go ahead and hook back up to our plow, because that is the only other contracts we can do, and that way if we get one we can just go after doing this one. Alright, and we need to switch this. Alright, so fertilizing field 41. I want to believe it is way up here. Yep, the one we did earlier. So they want their second stage of fertilization, which doesn't work for us, but it works for the contracts. So let's go this way. Oh, no, come on. Really? There we go. Yeah, this should not make our tractor flip, but it did. Alright. Let's go ahead and get to 41. We'll refertilize this field again. And we'll see what else we can get into. We've got about another hour left in the stream. A little bit less than an hour, but like I said, we won't be finishing September. We will be spending as much time in every month as we can until we actually can make... Alright, let's see if we can get through here without flipping over again. Until we can make enough money to where we can actually start making money off of our farm, we're going to be doing long months. Now, we will still do contracts, but it's going to be limited to a few contracts per month. Once we have like maybe 5 or 6 pieces of property where we'll be doing stuff on our farm a lot, most of the contracts we'll be doing after that will be cultivating and fertilizing mostly, but mostly cultivating, because I'll have a second tractor at that point, and we will use the second tractor to do contracts with us. That will be the whole purpose of us having a second tractor. Alright, let's see here. Where do I need to go? This way, and then up. Okay. But that's you know, generally how I play these is we do contracts until we start getting enough property to um, build up our own farm. But starting out with no equipment, it takes a while to get, you know, because we need to get a lime spreader, we need to get a trailer, we need to get a seeder, we need to get a harvester and a header and a corn header, and then we will almost have everything we need, and then we can start really working on buying more property and doing more with our money. But right now it's about getting all the equipment as quick as we can so we can do that. And like I said, I really would I hope we can get to the harvesting or the harvester this month. But if we can't, we may grab the seeder and do some seeding contracts as well as the production building, so we can actually start making money, which means we'll miss out on our little sorghum field, but that's not going to be a big loss, to be honest. It's just not. All right, let's go ahead and cut us on here. We need to go a little wide. We'll start right here, and then we'll go in between the next two lines over there. So the next white line will go in between that and actually might just hit the white line. Let's see where we're spread to. It's hard to tell at this angle. But yeah, it's all about just buying what we can buy, and when we do move on to buying more property, it will go a lot faster, because we will have a production in by then. You know, we'll hit right here by the line. Yeah, this fertilizer spreader does not work with drive assist. That's why I'm offsetting the lines here. But it shoots out a little bit further than the other one and uses a little bit less, I think. So that's why we choose this one. But we will, I foresee us having all the equipment we need by the end of November, and then start really ramping up on buying property and getting more production stuff going. Like the production building, I plan on using our main production building. Pretty much makes everything. And that's why I'm using it, is because this is a small thing, but we will buy bigger productions as we go. But we are not going to buy any productions on the map. We will build our own. So if I want an oil factory, I will build an oil factory. If I want a, you know, I don't know, any production, you know, sawmill, we will definitely probably get a sawmill at some point. All right, let's collect that contract. All right, we want to complete this one. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Cultivate, man. See, I wish I had a cultivator, but that field right there would take all day with a 4-meter cultivator, and we just can't afford anything more than that. All right, so those haven't changed. All right, let's refresh. Always do it 5 times just to see. It's just mostly cultivating. So yeah, we're gonna have to probably do this spinach contract. So let's borrow the items. Our tractor is in water. How did that happen? Okay. Let's see. Let's get him just back over here on the right side of. Yeah, you can stay there for now. Actually, let's see if we can get him back home. Actually. We need to go. No, we don't need to go that way. We need to go back the other way. back across the water. Yeah, let's just go this way. I don't know how we ended up where we did, but I swore I stopped it. But okay, let's go back this way, and we'll get him on the road. And then we'll go get that spinach harvest done. Then we'll see if we can find another contract to do. We may fast forward time a little bit, but we'll at least get started on the spinach contract. Alright, you can sit right there for now. Alright, let's go ahead and let's see, where was that spinach contract? Is field 77. Let's see where that is. Where are we? And where are we delivering to? Okay, we're 77. Where are we delivering? Way up there. Okay. So 77 is right here behind the store. Go ahead and set our worker up here. Let's get our tractor pulled over there where he can empty when needed. Park him a little bit off to the side over here so he won't be in the way. Alright. And let's check on contracts again. What is this? That? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just complete that one. Alright. Let's see here. I wonder what kind of cultivator they would give. I mean, I can't do it. I was just curious. I would love to get that cultivating job, but alright, let's fast forward time a little bit. Let's go to about 10 o'clock, and then we'll slow down time again. See if anything else pops up. Alright, let's refresh. Okay. Not really. Nothing. Nothing but cultivating. Now let's see about cultivators. I really don't want to buy a cultivator, but we may have to be able to do more contracts. Let's see, cultivator. Where is cultivator? Okay, cultivators. I know I have some modded ones. Yeah, it's like 3 meters. This one's 4 meters. It's only 15 grand. But man, it's going to take forever for him to do a field with a 4 meter. But that's probably going to be our only option. If we wanted to, yeah, because this one's the same 4 meter. Yeah. So do we bite the bullet? I mean, that's going to, no, we don't, because we don't have a second tractor, and that's going to tie up our tractor. So we're just going to drive back home and see where we are. We'll when we get there, we'll fast forward. Well, actually, Let's go ahead. Let's try refreshing again. All right, nothing. Okay. All right, let's just stop. Let's fast forward time to 12. See if anything else jumps in, because we're pretty much at the mercy of contracts right now. Alright, let's see if anything else has popped up. Oh, we got some fertilizing contracts. Perfect. Alright, let's get those. Okay, what else have we got? We got, those are the same. Yeah, sowings are the same. So that's pretty much, man, all these cultivating contracts. I wish I would have bought a cultivator, but we really need a second tractor for that. Alright, so let's see where we are in relationship to all these. Okay, so 25 is right here, 79 is here, and 5 is there. So we'll go to 29 first. Or whatever, 25. It's behind the store, so I'm gonna have to get more fertilizer, but we'll see where we're at. We'll be close enough to the house to where we can go to get it if we need it. So let's take this road. And we're gonna cut this way and just kind of drive through this grassy area. Alright. So 3 more fertilizings. And it would be cheaper for us to go home and buy the fertilizer, but since we're going to be right here, we may just go by the store and buy a couple of pallets to make sure we have enough. Because it'll save us a little bit of time. It won't save a lot of money, but we will save some. We would save some money, but like I said, we're going to go over here and do this fertilizing contract, and we'll see where we are in fertilizer when we get done. Alright, so we are going to pick this line right here. Let's go ahead and cut it on. We're going to go right by this line. And then we'll skip over to whatever the line is on the other side of that one. Let's go ahead and cut up in between these. And then we'll hit the next white line. Actually, no, we'll go on the other side of the white line. The blue line on the other side of that one should keep us going good. It should finish us up. So we'll head down this one. Yeah, that'll get us. May not need any more fertilizer actually. May be able to make it back home before we have to buy more, but we'll see. So the spinach contract's going to take a while. We may not even finish that one before the stream's over. But like I said, we're not going to be moving on anytime soon. We're going to get as much money as we can. Alright, let's just head up through here. He's doing his thing. Alright, so let's look again where these were. 77 and then we got 5 and 79. So 79 we'll do next. And then we'll go do 5, and that should about empty us some fertilizer. So we'll head back home to refill after we accept these contracts. Because this one's very small, it's only going to take just a little bit, and we should have enough for field 5. I believe we will. But 79 is right, or yeah, 79 is right down here. And then we'll come back to 5. Just a little bitty field. Alright. Let's go ahead and fertilize this one. Missed a little bit on the other end. We're still in good shape, I think. Some fertilizer. Alright. Right now we need to go to field 5, which is right over here. Well, hold on a second. Nope, there's not one there. I thought I saw a golden apple. But there's not. Okay. Field number 5 is this one right over here. So let's go ahead and get on this blue line here. Alright. Back up just a little more. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and get this corner. And then we'll hit the blue line. This should pretty much cover, yeah, it's covering. And then we'll just come down the white line over there and we'll be good. So we got enough fertilizer to finish these. We'll head back home and refill. And he's 25% done with that field. All right. Okay. Let's head back home and fill up with fertilizer, and then we'll check on contracts again. See, I was really hoping to get some of these bigger fields harvesting contracts like we had last time with field number 10. But not so lucky this time. Of course, I wouldn't mind doing a plowing contract on 10, but they want it cultivated. So, and we don't have a cultivator, and that would take ages. And we'd need a second tractor. So, but speaking of which, let's look in the sale and see if anything's changed. Well, something went away, but that cheap tractor is still there. I'm debating getting that tractor and cultivator, honestly. I mean, it's taking all day to cultivate these big fields, but that's a lot of money in those contracts. So I'm thinking about, I'm going to see where we're at in money when we get through filling up and accepting these two contracts. If we have enough to buy that tractor and a cultivator, we may go ahead and bite the bullet, because that will make us most of what we need just from cultivating. Alright, let's get that full. Fill that up. Alright, so let's collect our contracts and see where we're at. Alright. We're at 30,000. Alright, the tractor itself is 22,000. The cultivator is 15,000. Of course, there's this one that's 3 meters that's only 2,500, but it's 3 meters. How much is this one? 3 meters, yeah. 3 meters is so small. This is the one we want eventually, but it's 125 grand. Man. So if we get the tractor, alright, it has 3-point linkage, front and back. It's horsepower. If we increase the horsepower, wow. Oh, that's forestry. We don't want to do that. We want to increase the horsepower. It's going to be another 10 grand, but it only takes us to 85 horsepower. Alright, let's look at the cultivator again. I know we're wasting some time here, but I'm trying to math. Alright, so it takes 100 horsepower to run that. That's going to tax that tractor. It's just not worth it. Alright, let's see. Yeah, we're not doing beets. We can't loan anything else, so I guess we could buy the cultivator and just do it with this tractor. Let's see, how much? 30,000. Let's see what kind of cultivator we can get for 30. Alright, so this one's 4 meters, yeah. That one is 4 meters. That one's 6 meters. It's 25,000. I mean, we're going to make it back on one contract. Let's do it. Let's just do it. We don't want plates. Oh no, we don't want to do that. All right, we don't want the cedar. That's all we want, is just a standard cultivator. Well, we got to do it. All right, let's drop this stuff off. We're going to be doing some cultivating. All right, let's go ahead and drop our equipment off here. I mean, this is, like I said, we only have one tractor, so we're going to be doing it ourselves. But we're fixing to do some cultivating jobs. It's all the only choice we have, really, to make money right now. So we're just going to bite the bullet and do it. You know, it leaves us with 5,000. I mean, we still got that spinach contract, which put us right at back 10,000. But these cultivating contracts, even though they're going to take a long time to do, they're going to be worth it. So we're going to go ahead and accept them. And I may complete these cultivating contracts off camera, because they are going to take forever. But I mean, just the amount of money we're going to make from all these cultivating contracts. So I may do this off camera and just bring you back and just show you that we completed them, not accept the completion of them. Because I mean, I'm going to do them all so we can pay, you know, make it worth buying the cultivator. But I may just do them all off camera, because that is a lot. And if we do all that, we'll be able to buy the sower, or seeder, and we'll be able to do those sowing contracts too. Maybe we'll do that next time. But yeah, this is going to take a long time. We're just going to start with, I think we're going to start with field 10, because it's a big field. Actually, we'll see where all of them are. But we're going to go get our cultivator. I wanted the cultivator anyway. I really would rather have a second tractor, but that little tractor is not going to pull this cultivator, I don't think. Actually, let's well, it doesn't matter. We don't have the money to buy the tractor anyway. We will, but I'd rather buy a bigger tractor. I want, at least for the cultivator, I'd like to have a tractor that's at least 150 horsepower. That way it can also do fertilizing contracts and stuff too. And plowing maybe. I don't think it could pull our big plow, but the cultivator is going to open up a lot. I mean, it's a lot of money involved in these fields right here. We do need to check in on our spinach guy, because I haven't been looking at the screen. See if it's still going up in percentage as we're driving here. He may be full. So 10, 12, 13, 44, and 83. No, he's still going. Let's check in out. Yeah, he's not quite full, but he's getting close. But we can go ahead and get started on cultivating, and we can just put a worker on it if we need to do that. So we'll look and see where our closest field is to the store, and that's the one we'll start with. Again, I didn't want to spend that money on the cultivator, but I'm going to make it back in just one contract. It's just going to take time. One contract pays for the cultivator, and all the rest of it will be just profit. And we should have enough to buy the seeder, which will allow us to do a few more contracts. So we're just doing it. Like I said, this is a 6 meter. It's bigger than a 4 meter, but it's not by much. but it is at least 6 instead of 4. All right, so let's look at the map here. 44 is way up there, so we're gonna go do it. I think that's the only one that's up there. 44, and then we got 12, 10, 13, 2 huge fields. What's the and 83, which is near our house. So yeah, we're gonna go do 44, and I'm gonna put it on a worker for right now because we're fixing to have to empty the spinach harvester. Well, yeah, we're just gonna put it on a worker for now. And like I said, I'm probably gonna do all this off camera with these cultivating jobs because it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna take a long time for me to do all these with this 6-meter cultivator. So I am gonna finish these up off camera. We'll, we still got 20 minutes. We should at least get 44 done. But 10 and 13 and the other one are all pretty big. But 10, 12, or 12, 13, and 10 are all pretty big. I didn't see where 12 was exactly, but I know it's up there. Alright, so 44 is going to be at the top up here. We can get most of this one done before we have to empty that harvester, but if not, we'll just put it on a worker from where we go. Alright, wait a minute. 44 is right. Oh, yeah, right in front of us. Okay. Actually, you know what? We'll go ahead and put a worker on it. We'll just go ahead and put a worker on it. And hit, let's hold H here. We want him to do headlands. Okay. And let's go. Do your thing. Yep, he's almost full. So let's go ahead and get him emptied. Slow down, slow your roll, slow your roll. There we go. Let's go ahead and get him emptied. Yeah, this trailer doesn't even hold it all. So we gotta go deliver this anyway while he's doing that. So it's a good thing we hired a worker. We'll go dump this spinach. Make sure we are going to the right place for this. Yep, way up there. But like I said, I'll do these. I won't do any more contracts. I'm just going to do the cultivating contracts. And I won't complete them. That way, you can see it's not where I cheated in money or anything like that. I'm just going to probably complete these off camera because it's probably going to take 2 or 3 hours. Like, it would be a whole stream of nothing but cultivating. So I'm probably going to do it off camera and let, when I come back, we'll have, man, this tractor is terrible. Get up to him. finally made it here. So it's going to take us 3 trips to do this load. Alright, let's go ahead and send him back home, or back to field 77 here. We'll just get him to here, that's fine. Alright. Let's go ahead and end this guy. Alright. Let's go ahead and lower this down. And we'll finish up this field at least. Alright. So we're at least going to get one of these done. Like I said, I will be doing them off camera in between now and next stream, which will probably be Thursday. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get on here. Let's send this guy back to the next field, which is 12. Let's just put him right here. Alright. Let's go ahead and get him down here and alright, well, this guy didn't like. Let's get him on the road. Alright. Let's try this again. Alright, let's make sure we're on the road. Alright, let's get down here and empty this because we're going to have to make another trip with this guy. Let's go ahead and get this guy going up here. Let's just get him. Let's get him to right here. All right. Now we can take over this guy. For some reason this guy is not letting me switch, so we're almost to 12 though, so yeah, it's this guy. Cancel job. Thank you. Alright, 12 is this field back here. Let's go ahead and unfold. Alright, let's go ahead and get a worker on it. let's go. Alright, let's get back in the other tractor. Alright, he is done. But he's making his way up to sell. And like I said, I'm gonna complete these contracts off camera. I'm not gonna turn them in, but we are gonna complete them off camera, and because I've still got to go back another load with this guy. So anyway, I do appreciate y'all being here with me today. This is your Rock, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, and also don't forget to leave comments down below. All that stuff for you is free and it helps me and the channel grow, and I do appreciate all the support you give me so far. You guys rock. I love you guys. I hope y'all have a blessed day. I hope to see you in the next one. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.